welcome back to Sickness. So if you were on the channel about a year ago, I was doing this playthrough, and the final update has come out. As such, I believe there are new gallery images here and there, but a lot of this should be stuff you've seen before, I hope. But then we run into stuff we haven't seen. In order to find out what that is, we need to start a new game. So I never got around to trying out Misa. I still don't really have much desire to, but we're sticking to Suo. I don't really know what, if anything, changes, and like usual... So I don't really think the choices relating to Sarah really matter. How did I do this originally? Oh, I must not have chosen that one before. Yeah, so this is what I did. So we have to get through a couple chapters before we can finally begin the Lucia route. And of course, Marcus is still alive here. He hasn't caught the shotgun shell with his stomach just yet. Actually, he does have a point. I'm not one to gamble, just only with my life. So we'll sleep longer, and of course I choose something that I didn't do before. You've been wearing my clothes. Apparently she was. Let's be creepy. Ah, I already did it. So right here we're going to the gym before we go to work, I guess? Or is this still training? The new content's going to come in partway, obviously. Before you had to kill Lucia to silence her, but now you can actually keep her alive. And we're going to speed forward to that, just seeing if anything has changed on the way, and hopefully I don't actually keep making bad choices. So Marcus went ahead and made a mess. And right here is where we're going to finally meet Lucia. And there we go, we met her. And I bet you we made an impression. Play dumb, you tend to last longer that way. Okay, here's where Marcus catches the shotgun shell. And Andre should learn to pay his loan sharks. So nothing new on that scene. And we're almost at the part where it's going to differ. Here we have some training with Leon. And here we go, loose end. So before, I don't think you got the choice, just automatically killed her, but we'll spare her. Still clutching the blade in my hand, I shook my head. Despite my method of entry and my obvious readiness to dispose of Lucia, her death was not necessary. She only needed to be silenced, not killed. You aren't? Then does that mean... Hearing that her life would be spared, Lucia's lips curled into a smile. The fear left her eyes, and she stared at me with unexpected affection. You came to visit me. I sighed and scratched my head. Honestly, what's wrong with this girl? I break into her room wielding a knife, and she giggles and smiles. I may not be in a position to talk, but Lucia is clearly not normal. I concealed my knife and stepped away from Lucia's bed. How can you smile like that after all the trouble you've caused me? trouble? You mean to say I've inconvenienced you in some way? Analyzing Lucia's worried expression and voice, I could find no reason to doubt her sincerity. Lucia honestly did not understand how she had caused me any grief. Let me put this as simply as I can. Every time you so much as confirm my existence, you cause me unnecessary pain. You've spoken to your friends at school, the police. You even went so far as to appear on television. Not only have you been putting words in my mouth, you also keep changing your story, and you've completely distorted the truth. You've been compromising my safety from the moment I saved you, and if you continue to do so... I began to reach for the knife behind my back. Please, wait, you don't understand. Everything I said, everything I did, it was all for you. Shh, keep it down. People need to know what you did. You're a hero. If I don't tell people your side of the story, then who will? I said be quiet. Look, I understand what you're trying to do, okay, and I appreciate that you want to pay me back. But the thing is, I don't want people to know what I did. I committed extremely serious crimes, the type for which I could go to prison forever with no hope of release. So please, just keep it to yourself. Don't tell anyone else about what happened. Let it be our little secret. Suddenly quiet once more, Lucia stared at me in surprise as she processed my last statement. Our little secret? You mean what happened that day? How you saved me? That could be a secret that only we share? It could have been if you hadn't already blabbed to everyone who would listen. Yeah, but I never told them anything important. They don't know what you look like, what you sound like, or anything about you. I even cleaned your fingerprints off the tripod. Doesn't that count for something? I examined Lucia's panicked face once more. Just like before, she appeared to be completely sincere. She would not knowingly say or do anything to cause me any further inconvenience. Unfortunately, whether she was sincere or not, I knew I couldn't trust her promise alone. Quiet. I pushed Lucia down onto the bed and threw the sheets over her, trapping her arms underneath. I then positioned myself on top of her, restricting her movements as I removed the knife from behind my back. Keep your mouth shut and listen to me. This may seem like a game to you, but my freedom is what's on the line here. I don't care if you think things you tell people aren't important. One slip of the tongue is all it would take for my world to come crashing down. And I'm not going to let that happen. I've already fallen too far to let someone like you be the end of me. So from now on, as far as you're concerned, I do not exist. And if you cannot get through your thick skull, then... I rested my knife just above Lucia's skin. I will do to you what I did to the two who attacked you. Lucia stared at me with a nervous smile on her face. You're kidding. You wouldn't do that. You saved me. You wouldn't hurt me. Don't be so sure of that. Starting below her collarbone, I began to cut into Lucia's flesh. I opted for somewhere easy to cover with clothing and not likely to bleed profusely. The moment I removed my knife, the shallow wound began to dribble beads of blood. You're mistaken about me being your savior or some kind of hero. I'm a criminal, a despicable person who deserves scorn and who should be feared. So keep your mouth shut or I really will kill you. I understand. You won't tell anybody else about what happened that day. I won't. What will you do if the police question you again or a reporter approaches you? I'll keep my mouth shut. Perfect. Concealing my knife once more, I got off Lucia's bed and let her go free. Lucia quickly wiped off the blood from her chest, then pulled up her shirt in an attempt to hide the cut. Her face remained contorted as Lucia wiped away her tears, trying her best not to cry out as relief and misery both washed over her. Shit. I know I need to keep Lucia quiet, but surely I could have gone easier on her. It's not Lucia's fault she got wrapped up in all this. She's a victim, not some delinquent who needed to be set straight. All I've done tonight is scare a defenseless young girl. Without looking back at Lucia's distraught expression, I walked over to the windowsill and prepared to leave. Oh well, what's done is done. Hopefully Lucia will wake up in the morning and forget that any of this... Wait. Where are you going? Are you leaving? I turned around to see Lucia addressing me with tearful eyes. It's late. I'm going home. I see. Well, sweet dreams. Come visit me again soon. What the hell? Is this girl even listening to herself? I shook my head as I tried to brush off Lucia's ridiculous statement. I'm leaving. I know. Have a safe trip. Whatever. I don't have time for this shit. The next day. Sunday morning, September 25th. A restful morning of cleared conflict and renewed affection. A morning of peace, quiet, and much-needed proximity. Be it her forgiving nature or the absence of warmth of her brother, Sarah quickly dropped the issue that separated us only days ago. So yeah, this is something we've seen before, so I'm just hitting the skip button until we reach... Okay, that was fast! Though my time with Lucia was brief, I couldn't dismiss our meeting so easily. I had gone to see her in the middle of the night, armed and ready to kill her, only to then threaten her before leaving peacefully. My conscience caused me to take pity on her, to see her as an innocent victim, and as a result I was in more danger than ever. Our time together during her rescue was brief, but the visit I paid her was not. Lucia clearly saw my face and heard my voice. There's no doubt in my mind that she would now recognize me on the street or in a police lineup. And to make matters worse, I gave her a reason to want me behind bars. Though I felt bad for her at the time, by now I realized how foolish I'd been. Paying Lucia a visit made sense only if I did so in order to kill her. Leaving her alive with a fresh image of my face was about the dumbest thing I could have possibly done. Maybe it's not too late. Lucia did ask me to visit her again soon, and it's not like last night was my only chance to dispose of her. Perhaps I should sneak out during the night once more, armed with my knife, an outfit I don't mind getting bloody, and the resolve to kill. Though I worried that Sarah might be pushing herself to act normal, it seems my fears were unfounded. Unlike me, Sarah had no heinous thoughts weighing on her mind. She was able to return to her usual routine and frame of mind with ease, making me feel silly for worrying about her. Right up until the moment Sarah fell asleep, she seemed like her usual self, completely free of the drama I had introduced into our lives. Once Sarah was sound asleep, I quickly slipped out of bed, carefully placing her arms around a pillow in my stead. I tiptoed through the living room, then made my way to the door, remaining as quiet as I possibly could. Sorry to do this to you again so soon, Sarah, but tonight I have something important to take care of. So here we have to accept, if I remember correctly. No questions. Here we have the whole Society of Assassins thing going on, our League of Assassins. Okay, so right here we're camping out for the cop. So you want to watch from a distance. And then we shove him in front of traffic. Easy, right? So if you take her against her will, she wants to go shopping, I think. So let's just go without her. Let's go see Lucia. Because I have a feeling that if you're here, that's what you're here for. Without realizing it, I found myself on the path leading to Sarah's school. I walked up and down the road a few times, mindlessly pacing as I cooled down. Before long, however, students began to appear and my caution got the best of me. I hid myself off to the side and sat down, resolving myself to wait until the morning rush was over before I resumed. I wonder if Sarah's going to go to school today. Honor student or not, when Sarah has her mind set on something, rules and reason don't apply to her. It wouldn't surprise me if I found her lying in wait the moment I returned home, fed up and ready to pounce. Despite my musings, Sarah's figure did pass me by as I waited for yet another wave of students to head to school. She wore a stern expression on her face, and I had no doubt that the other students would avoid crossing her for the day. That's one danger out of the way. Now I just need to make sure Lucia doesn't see me, and I'll finally be able to leave. Assuming she does show up, that is. True to my own stray thoughts, Lucia did not show her face. Whether she was driven to school, chose to take another route, or simply decided not to attend, I couldn't catch a single glimpse of her, no matter how long I waited. Damn, after what happened the other night, I really think that seeing Lucia attending school like normal would put my mind at ease. feel a little guilty about the way I treated her. Who knows what kind of mental scar I left. She might never leave the house again thanks to me. Lucia goes to school and she gets kidnapped. Lucia tells people what happened. I threatened to kill her. For Lucia, staying at home keeping her mouth shut might really be the safest thing for her to do right now. Even so, racked with guilt and worry, I decided against my better judgment to pay Lucia a visit. I had no intention of meeting her face to face. Seeing me might only make matters worse for her, not to mention the fact that last time I had the cloak of darkness to obscure my appearance. Rather, this time I planned to check on her condition from afar, a one-sided visit purely to put my own mind at ease. I'm aware that my actions before, and even those I'm taking this very moment, must make me look like a crazed stalker. Scaling a 2-story building to visit a girl in the middle of the night, checking on her because I didn't see her walking to school. These are definitely not the actions of a rational person. But right now, I don't care about that. Her condition is weighing on my mind, and I won't feel any relief until I confirm her safety. I really am a pathetic killer, aren't I? Despite my self-deprecation, I didn't feel too bad about my current situation. In fact, as a teenage male, the thought of visiting a girl around my age and skipping school together was rather exciting. My 17 years without a girlfriend were not about to come to an end anytime soon, but if I had the capacity to worry about a girl I barely knew, then perhaps it wasn't hopeless after. Be more careful, you idiot. Those plates are expensive. I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Like I believe that. I'll get better. I just need practice. Prompted by the loud noise from within, I peeked through the window of Lucia's home. Within I found Lucia and her mother cleaned up in the kitchen. Relief immediately washed over me. She's just helping around the house. How stupid. I convinced myself that I inflicted some kind of trauma upon Lucia, and yet all she's doing is taking the day off to help her mother. I don't need to be here. Lucia's doing just fine. Who do you think you're kidding? Honestly, if your father knew you were skipping school, he'd be furious. But hey, it's not like you have a future in academics anyway, right? So you should at least learn how to maintain a clean house. Yes, Mother. Oh, but I suppose if I can teach you how to do the housework, then I'll have more free time myself. Of course, we'll have to keep it from your father. You know how he gets about these things. Yes, Mother. With a little tutelage from yours truly, maybe you could get a job in hospitality. If you were washing dishes and cleaning all day, you'd be able to indulge in your fantasies as much as you want. That doesn't sound so bad, does it? I guess not. But aren't I supposed to be keeping my, fantasies under control? Oh, don't worry about that. You know how doctors make things sound worse than they really are. In fact, a healthy imagination might lead to an interesting married life, if you know what I mean. Mother? Calm down, I'm only joking. Kind of. If you were able to find a nice man to take care of you, you would spend every day around the house like this. You'd like that, wouldn't you? No, it's not like that. I just didn't want to go to school today. It's not that I... Nonsense, listen to your mother. The sooner you settle down, the sooner your father and I can stop worrying about you. For a girl like you, a sedentary life would be best. If you say so. I pulled away from the window as Lucia and her mother began to finish up. Wow. Strict parents are one thing, but that woman sounds downright controlling. Who tells their teenage daughter to find a nice man or to settle for washing dishes for a living and ignore doctors' advice? While I may not be a model citizen myself, even I can see how messed up this is. But what can I do about it? Even if I disagree with what they're saying, it's not my place to decide how they should live their lives. I have no right to intrude and force my ideals on them. When has that ever stopped you? You're right. I've never stopped short because of some stupid moral imperative or because I didn't have the right. All I should be thinking about here is what I want to do. Do I want to free Lucia from her domineering mother? Do I want to kill Lucia too and sever my bond to this household? I can do it. I can cut both of their throats from ear to ear right now. I can put an end to my worrying and liberate myself all in a matter of minutes. Oh. Okay, so let's butcher him. Of course I want to. What kind of silly question is that? No, to simply say I want to is not enough. At this point, it would be no exaggeration to say that I need to. I may have taken pity on this girl once before, but that will not happen again. As long as she remembers my face, she's too much of a threat. I will dispose of these two right here and now and shield myself from the calamity this girl might otherwise bring. Alright, that'll do for now. Why don't you get started on the garden? I'll go check on the laundry. Yes, Mother. Still dangerously pumped, I glanced through the window to see Lucia and her mother exiting the kitchen. As her mother decreed, Lucia left through the rear entrance and entered the yard. I moved away from the window and headed alongside Lucia's house, soon reaching her backyard. Meanwhile, Lucia grabbed a bucket full of gardening tools from on top of a table near the entrance, immediately taking a gardening trowel in hand and getting to work. Stupid woman. Always thinks she knows what's best for me. Who asked for your advice anyway, huh? It's my life, not yours. You don't understand a thing about me, and you never will. I remained close to the house as Lucia stabbed the earth around her angrily, cursing her mother with every violent motion. While Lucia was focused on stabbing the ground, I slipped around the edge of the house and entered through the back door. I crept down the hallway while peeking into each room along the way, careful not to be spotted while I searched for my prey. Once I reached the end of the hallway, I located Mrs. K. She was standing in front of a washing machine in the laundry, taking out the freshly washed clothing from within. Found you. I reached behind my back to grab my knife, only to realize that I hadn't brought it with me. Cursing my own carelessness, I slowly walked backwards, then turned around and walked into the kitchen. I rummaged around the drawers in search of a suitable weapon. Unfortunately, most of the cutlery was dull, and the sharp knives were too short to be of much use, so the task was taking longer than anticipated. However, after another minute or two of searching, my persistence paid off. With a blade 12 inches long and starting at 3 inches in height, I grabbed the sharp, heavy knife and glanced it over. Although the blade appeared to have been dull from use, the tip was as sharp as ever. I had no doubt that I could easily pierce through Mrs. K's chest on one side and out the other, and finish her off before she could scream. Now then. I left the kitchen and walked towards the laundry once more. With the large knife dangling by my side, my footsteps grew quicker. A smirk appeared in my face, and my heartbeat grew louder. I was going to enjoy this. Armed, pumped, and ready to dispose of the detestable woman who I barely knew, I stopped in front of the laundry room. Mrs. K was folding clothing, completely in her own world and ignorant of who was right behind her and what awaited her. I firmly clutched the knife in my hand, stepped forward, and without further delay... Huh? Before I could take another step towards Mrs. K, a cold chill ran down my spine. My body stopped moving. A numb sensation took hold of me, and the knife in my hand dropped to the floor. I looked down at my chest, my eyes open wide. Mother! Lucia, what are you? Protruding from my body was a rusty blade, a gardening tool Lucia had kept right beside her while she was gardening. While I was rummaging around through the cutlery drawers in her kitchen, Lucia noticed my presence, and when it looked like I was ready to strike, Lucia moved first. Bad end number 5. So that should have opened up new stuff in the gallery. So nothing in the picnic scenes. Damn it, there it goes. Was it earlier? So Lucia bound, Lucia restrained, second kill. Lucia's death. And then this is when you kill her family after killing her. So that's side threatening. Okay, yeah, here we are. So, 2 new CGs. Anyway, I created this for that reason. Calm down. No, I don't need to kill these people. I may be a paid killer, but I'm not some monster who goes around murdering innocent people on a whim. I'll just observe them a while longer and see what happens. Alright, that'll do for now. Why don't you get started on the garden? But Mother's only like that because she's worried about me, right? It's not her fault. Hold on, whose fault is this? Typo. So it's not someone's fault. It's not her fault. It's my fault for worrying her all the time. If I wasn't such a disappointment, she wouldn't act like that. No, that's not it. It's all father's fault. It's because he's never home, and because he won't tell her to get a damn job. Both of them, they're both just so... Lucia began to stab the ground angrily once more, this time cursing both of her parents as she did so. I'm beginning to think that this girl might not be quite as sane as she initially appeared. Inviting a criminal into your room in the middle of the night is bad enough. Now she's stabbing the ground while talking to herself out loud. And what'd she say before about fantasies and going to see some doctor? I sighed and shook my head. Right, like I can talk. She talks to herself out loud while I act out whispers from within. Even now I'm thinking about breaking into Lucia's house, grabbing the first weapon I can find, and killing one or more of the house's occupants. Which one of us is really the crazy one here? Lucia dear, I don't hear the hose running. You aren't slacking off, are you? Shit. I quickly dashed back to the side of Lucia's house as her mother showed her face. Damn it. When Mrs. K said she was going to check on the laundry, I thought I'd have more time. I guess I was foolish to expect hard work and devotion from someone who gets giddy over the idea of pushing her own chores onto her daughter. Mother, I was just... What are you doing to my flower bed? Let me explain, I was only... Explain what, you little psychopath? Why you destroy everything you touch? Or maybe you're going to tell me that it was someone else, No, I'm not a psychopath. That's your defense? That you're some other kind of psycho? Psychopathy, psychosis, schizophrenia, I don't care. Whatever you want to call it, if you don't get it under control, you're just gonna keep causing trouble for everyone. Do you even try to control it? Or does the thought of taking responsibility for your own actions just scare you too much? Lucia couldn't muster a reply to her mother's harsh words. She just kept averting her gaze, wishing the moment would pass. But even if the confrontation itself ended, the factors behind it wouldn't vanish so easily. The two would continue to harbor such negative feelings, and sooner or later, the scene would inevitably repeat itself. No answer, huh? Not even an apology? Fine, if you're gonna be like that, you can stay out here until you apologize. Mrs. K went back inside. She slammed the door behind her and quickly locked it, leaving the confrontation unsettled. Lucia, on the other hand... Damn it, that rotten old cow? Who cares about your damn garden? I'm your daughter. Why is it so hard for you to treat me like a human being? Lucia started kicking the dirt beneath her feet and messing up the grass as much as possible. She then punched the exterior of the house, which she immediately regretted. Ow, 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 ow. Feeling better? What? Lucia jumped back as I addressed her. Despite the fact that I'd been standing in front of Lucia the entire time, as she emerged too quickly for me to hide, she apparently hadn't noticed me at all. What are you doing here? Lucia's surprised expression turned into one of anger as she recognized my face. You made your intentions clear last time, so if this is about that again, I don't want to hear it. Fair enough. To be honest, I didn't think you'd be in a hurry to see me again. Then why are you here? Are you checking up on me to make sure I haven't said anything? Something like that. Then you can pat yourself on the back because I haven't said a damn thing. Now leave me alone. I have my own problems to deal with. Can you deal with them? What are you talking about? You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's hard when all of your problems are family members, isn't it? You were eavesdropping? I'm a violent felon. Eavesdropping is the least of my crimes. You can say that again. Lucia looked away slightly, avoiding making eye contact. She appeared to have no desire to prolong our conversation, particularly if it was going to center around such a personal topic. So, what are you going to do? Why do you care? Just curious. I do have experience in removing problematic people from your life, you know. Hey, you aren't seriously... Relax. I'm not offering to kill your parents. Though if they've done anything half as bad as the last two people who gave you trouble, I might be willing to make an exception. Don't you dare! Look, I appreciate the, sentiment. I really do, but this isn't something that a person like you should get involved in. Please, just let me deal with this on my own. Lucia's voice softened as she lowered her gaze. Whatever she felt for her parents, Lucia wanted to deal with them herself. Or perhaps it'd be more accurate to say that she wanted to protect them. Alright, I understand. This is between you and your family. I promise I won't interfere. So you can see Misa hard at work there. Yeah, we're good. Whoops. Yes, we're good. This could be a lucky break I'm waiting for. You want me to date her? So here we actually have something new. And while an uneventful weekend would typically be welcome, this time with so much weighing on my mind I couldn't wait for it to end. This isn't something that a person like you should get involved in. Lucia said that to me without an ounce of hesitation or a moment of thought. But what did she mean by that exactly? Was she saying that the infamous vigilante who saved her should be handling more important matters? Was she telling the violent criminal who threatened her at knife point to leave her and her family alone? Whatever the case, she was right. Me sticking my nose into her business won't help either one of us. I need to go away and stay away for my sake and hers. Otherwise, it's only a matter of time before one of us gets hurt or imprisoned. Even knowing that, why is it that I keep thinking about her? Is it because saving Lucia and becoming a vigilante made me feel good about myself? Like there was some kind of justification for my actions? Or am I just an obsessive criminal who isn't smart enough to stay away from the scene of their own crimes? Either way, I really need to get my act together. I can't keep wasting my time thinking about this garbage. My personal life is already messed up. Thinking about that fact won't do me any good. What currently concerns me most of all is my personal life, however, or even my job. Rather, the biggest concern I have right now is my training with Sai. It's about dating his daughter, right? No, I actually don't have any clues. Who's Sarah? What are your outings? He doesn't know who Sarah is. Maybe he's just testing me. My sister. She's usually the one to pick. So we'll brute force it. Ah, so Chapter 11, Abuse. This must be Lucia's route. So why don't you enter what t-shirt contest? Oh, I didn't choose this one. But don't you think you're a bit young for that? And your father would probably kill me. Though I must admit, as a teenage male, I am rather curious. Alright, so be it. If you want to enter a what t-shirt contest that badly, I'll help you out. You don't know what a what t-shirt contest is? Damn, I'm sure that would have gotten a rise out of Sarah. Forget it, I was just joking anyway. You want to go see the water close up, right? Like in a swimming pool or at the beach. So we'll ask for Misa's input. Yeah, I'm not going. Stand below the veranda and jump really, really high. I think it's giving Misa a boost. Misa, new plan. Finally entered the house. Check the veranda. So I think we wait for him to come inside. Hold on a second. Okay, so the skip option's disabled for both of these, so this must be playing out differently for some reason. So we'll wait for him to come inside. So I think we kill him on the toilet if we do it this way. There we go. I could go visit Lucia. The circumstances of our last meeting weren't great, and I'm a little worried about how things went with her parents afterwards. Besides, it's not like I need to go and talk to her. Just confirming her well-being would be good enough for me. But is it really wise? I've risked enough because of that girl already, and it's not like we have any reason to meet. Lucia might have preferred if I forgot it all about her and left her alone for good. Who should I visit? I might as well. Even if I won't get to speak with Lucia, it would be nice to confirm that she's been okay since her last run-in. I made my way to Lucia's house once again. Bearing no motive other than to confirm her well-being, I approached her home unarmed and deprived of my usual equipment. From the front of her house, I could see no trace of any occupants. There was little to no light flowing out, not enough to cast a shadow. If anybody was home, their silhouette was not about to give away their presence. They couldn't make this easy, could they? A good look at Lucia through the front window would have been plenty. Sighing the thought of scaling the side of Lucia's house once again, I walked around to the area below her window. Fuck it, I've done this once before, right? All I need is a good boost and... Whoa, what the? Lucia? I staggered back as Lucia caught me completely off guard. What are you doing here? You aren't here to hurt my parents, are you? No, it's nothing like that. Look, I'm not even armed. I patted myself down and showed Lucia that I wasn't concealing any weapons underneath my clothing. I just came by to make sure you were alright. You weren't doing too well the last time I came around. I see. What about you? Huh? What do you mean? This is my house. Why should I be here? No, I'm asking what you're doing outside at this time of the night. Lucia cast her gaze downward in response to my unwelcome question. Fine, don't tell me. I really only came here to check up on you. It's none of my business what you... Am I keeping you from dinner? No, I looked towards Lucia's house once more. The lights in the kitchen were off. Even looking through the window I used to observe Lucia last time, I couldn't see any activity, let alone signs of a meal. If you're hungry, by all means go back inside and eat. I won't stop you. No, like I said, I wasn't really... Lucia lowered her head and allowed a sullen expression to mask her face. On closer inspection, Lucia seemed to be shaking, and I could hear faint rumblings from her stomach. You know, it's not like I had any real business here. You don't need to stay out here in the cold. Go back inside and eat. I won't disturb you. Seeing Lucia off with a smile, I turned and began to walk away. Please wait. You're not disturbing anything at all, so please. Just keep me company for a while. I turned back around to see Lucia once again hanging her head. The rumblings of her stomach were growing louder, and she was now shivering more than before. Though it was difficult to tell with only the light from the moon and streetlights, Lucia also appeared to be more pale in the face than when I last saw her. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this. Fine, if you're gonna be like that, you can stay out here until you apologize. A terrible scene replayed in my mind as I began to question Lucia's current predicament. Although Lucia said she was fine, her physical state clearly contradicted her claim, giving credence to a rather disturbing thought of mine. You haven't set foot inside since I last visited, have you? Have you at least eaten? Lucia weakly shook her head from side to side. Crap. So much for just confirming her safety. It looks like I'll be getting involved after all. Holy crap, look at that girl go. Just how long has it been since Lucia last ate? Sarah couldn't eat this much if her life depended on it. Hell, even I can't eat that much. Either Lucia's a far bigger eater than her appearance would have me believe, or this girl was famished. Aren't you gonna eat too, is what she's trying to say. No, you go ahead. Although I'd ordered for two, it didn't take long for Lucia to requisition my share. In no time at all, she finished her own dishes and started on mine, moving her chopsticks with blinding speed matched only by her mouth. Blood rush, I feel a little woozy. That's what you get for eating instead of breathing. just slow down. Wait a few minutes before deciding whether or not to continue. Yeah, but I don't want to waste food. Just a little more. You'll give yourself indigestion. I don't care. What a handful. Oh well. I guess it's better to eat too much than too little. Uh-oh. Or not. Right in the vase, right there. Phew, much better. I feel like a new woman. More like a new dress size. I didn't think you could eat that much. My parents always said I had a big appetite. Oh, and I'm not picky about what I eat either, so if you're ever hungry and you're in the neighborhood, I'll eat alone. Huh? Don't be like that. If you don't want to pay for it, you can always have dinner at my house. And to get even more entrenched in this girl's life, no thanks. I appreciate the offer, but I'm done talking about food for tonight. So on to a more important topic. What were you still doing outside? Were you and your mother unable to reconcile, or did you have another fight after I left? I'd rather not say. Figures. I thought Lucia might be a little more open on a full stomach, but I guess she doesn't want to tell me after all. Unfortunately for Lucia, however, my curiosity isn't so easily dismissed. Well, the decision is yours. It's not like I can force you to tell me. If you don't want to tell me, then I'm okay with that. Thank you for understanding. Don't sweat it. We all have secrets. Some are just more expensive than others. Yeah, I know what you mean. Good, good. I'm glad we're on the same page. With that being said, your bill comes to $48.70. Me too, I'm glad we... Huh? $48.70. Will that be cash or credit? I don't understand. $48.70, the cost of dinner. You ate heartily yourself and then proceeded to devour mine. The way I see it, that means you're paying for mine too. And I really was hungry, until the vomiting began. No, that's... You invited me out, didn't you? Yes, but I never said it was my treat. What's wrong? Can't pay? No. I knew it. You were planning to swindle me from the beginning, weren't you? I guess I'll just have to find some other way for you to pay me back. You can't mean... Lucia looked at me with fear in her eyes. At that moment, I replayed my words inside my head, and I immediately understood why. Crap. That sounded pretty bad, didn't it? Watch your words, Suo. For a moment there, you sounded like a rapist. I sighed and shook my head. Not like that. If you can't return my money, then I'll have you pay me back with information. Information? That's right. I'll have you return my goodwill with the one thing more valuable than money. More valuable than money? Like love and appreciation? I glared at Lucia amusedly. Hey, don't be like that. It was just a joke. What you meant was, in exchange for dinner, you want me to tell you why I was outside, right? Correct. Lucia breathed in deeply, then let out a loud sigh. I don't know why you want to know so badly, but okay, I'll tell you. To be honest, I actually wanted to confide in someone, but nobody takes the things I say seriously, so it's hard to find someone I can talk to. Right. I did hear your mother say something about you being a psychopath. So you haven't heard that much, huh? Let me clear this up right now. I am not a psychopath. My mother just doesn't care enough about what other people say to actually listen to them. Yeah, I did get that impression. So, what was she talking about then? She didn't just make up a disorder for you, did she? No, she wasn't just making things up. You see, sometimes I see and hear things that aren't really there. My mother tries to tell me that I simply have an overactive imagination. That isn't the case. The specialist who my mother took me to called it psychosis. She explained how serious it is and how it's usually symptomatic of some other condition like schizophrenia. And this is completely true, that is one of the symptoms. But before I could get any real answers, my mother pulled the plug on her visit, and that was that. I listened intently as Lucia explained her situation. In particular, I took note of her condition and what the specialist labeled it. Hear things that aren't really there, huh? I shook my head and returned my focus to Lucia. Any pondering in my own mental state could wait until later. For the time being, Lucia was the one who needed guidance, not me. That's pretty rough. So, what are you gonna do about it? You aren't just gonna let your mother sacrifice your mental health, are you? I don't know. I can't go against my mother. Even if she's in the wrong, I don't have what it takes to stand up to her. If I had your kind of conviction, things would be a lot easier. Don't be so sure about that. I tackle problems with brute force and a headstrong attitude because I lack the brains and patience to solve them properly. My life would be a lot easier if I knew when to just give up. Give up? You really think that's a good solution? Well, I can't really afford to throw in the towel, but that doesn't mean you can't. Just swallow your pride and apologize to your mother. Sleep inside, eat regularly, and put up with her until you're employed and old enough to move out. Alright, I understand. But if I can't put up with her anymore, I mean, if she really drives me crazy, then will you... kill her? No, that's not what I was going to say. I just meant, you know, going out for a meal together, or talking it out, or... Relax, I was just kidding. The next time your mother evicts you, just sit tight. I'll listen to your side of the story without fail. Actually, I went to a restaurant. You did? Then, why did you eat when we got back here too? You're gonna get fat if you don't watch out. Huh. I'll have you know that I've been burning more calories lately than ever before in my life. Is that so? So right there, I think, is when they had the cop do the phony thank you thing to try to soothe Suo's conscience. Sarah and I have been getting along, at least as well as any other pair of siblings, and my home life has been quite peaceful. Furthermore, I've been seeing Lucia on the side, if only to make truthful Sarah's accusations about me sneaking out to meet with girls. I've been driving by Lucia's house at least once a week, usually at night, using the pretense of making sure she has been kicked out again. We sit in Lucia's room together, talking about mostly her favorite comic books and television shows, all while I dodge personal questions about myself. It's been difficult to keep my mouth shut, especially when Lucia wants nothing more than a name to call me, but after my many screw-ups, this is one point I cannot yield. It's strange to think that Lucia and I are getting along so well. Our first meeting was horrific, and on our second I was planning to kill her. But after getting to know her, I realized that we had a lot in common, and not just our tastes in comic books. We're two unfortunate teenagers with broken homes, questionable education, and mental disorders which we can't openly talk about. However, if there's one thing that currently separates us, it's Lucia's strong will to improve herself. She knows that she suffers from psychosis. She lives with it every day, trying to keep from falling into despair as fiction and reality merge. But as for me and the voice I hear, well, I'm beginning to think I'll never conquer my sickness. So let's tease her. I can see your bra. Let's get to work. So let's be thorough. So there's the tripwire. So I believe you get an achievement if you blow this off and assume he's dead. Screw it, looks like him. I sincerely doubt he's still alive. Besides, this place smells bad enough from out here. I can only imagine the stench from within. Well, that's one down, just two more to go. Let's go, shall we? And there you go. Professional bludger unlocked. Content with our brief inspection of each target's residence, Misa and I returned to my place until it was time to part ways. As I attempted to drop her off, however, for once, there was someone to greet us. Done already? I thought you'd be flat out this week. This is rare. Usually I only see Sai during meetings or training. Though when I think about it, I suppose Misa is the only one I really meet with outside of work. I wouldn't have a clue how often Sai comes here. I could say the same to you. You have far more work than we do. True, but unlike you, I don't try to hide my work from my family, and I'm free to come and go as I please. You have specific windows of opportunity and a limited arsenal. Neither of those limitations apply to me. That's a rather apt observation. Between keeping up appearances at home and needing to get my target within stabbing distance, I'm only making this job harder on myself. Be that as it may, one of our 3 targets has been taken care of. Oh, that was quick. What, did he kill himself for you? Oh. Yes, that does happen from time to time. A lot of our targets are criminals, some of whom are mentally unstable, so it's not unexpected that someone else might get to them first. That's great and all, but it's not his mental health that worries me. That's understandable, but does it matter that it wasn't me? Is it okay if my target is killed by somebody else? If you're worried that you might not get paid, then you can stop fretting. Payment is set aside from them when you accept a request. As long as the target dies within the allotted time and you don't pass the job on to someone else, you'll be paid. I see, that's great news for me. Even if I'm making plenty of money at the moment, a few $1,000s is still a sizable sum, especially for someone who's facing bankruptcy not long ago. Keep it up, you still have another 2 to go. And if you're serious about making money, don't you dare forget about our other job. Other job? Oh, he must mean the adder break-in. What's wrong? Afraid to earn your home back? No, it's nothing like that, I just... Relax, it's perfectly natural to be worried about such an extreme job. Just remember, your role is minor. I'll be doing the hard work. What's important is that you and Misa follow my instructions and that you can work together. Ah, I see how it is. Sai told me previously that he wanted me to befriend Misa, but it seems like that was just an afterthought. He needs Misa and I to get along and grow accustomed to working together, all for the sake of this upcoming job. But wait, Karasu didn't mention Adder until after Sai reached out to me. Does this mean he already knew about Karasu's plan? Was he just acting surprised when we were told? Or maybe he really did want Misa to have at least one friend. Does it really require that much thought? I can deal with one of you not talking to me, but if neither one of you will respond, this mission is going to become far more difficult. No, sorry about that. Just make sure you keep showing up for training, alright? And in the meantime, don't get yourself killed. So wow, I was expecting him to chew us out after the whole not making sure he was dead stuff. Strike first. Despite the number of times I visit Lucia of my own accord, I still can't help but feel that I'm making a mistake every time I do. Lucia has seen my face and heard my voice. She knows who and what I am. With a single slip of the tongue, Lucia could put me in prison for life, and every time I visit her, I do so knowing that it might mean my freedom. So why do I continue to see her? Is it because I feel guilty about my forced involvement in her life and the things I showed her? Am I simply feeling empathetic after seeing how her mother treats her? Perhaps I feel responsible for Lucia, as the person who saved her and the person whom she confided. Perhaps I feel a link between us. Or could it be, as a deadbeat brother and professional scumbag, I cling to her for support, as the girl who would label me a vigilante, if not a hero? Whatever the case, I can't take back all the things I've said and done. Lucia knows too much about me for me to simply leave her alone. I need to either kill her or keep her at arm's length to make sure she doesn't talk. I already proved to myself that I'm incapable of doing the former, so I guess at this point there's really no other choice. Until Lucia rejects me or I gain the courage to finish what I started, I must continue to inject myself into her life. Deep in thought and filled with hesitation, I made my way to Lucia's home once more. Rather than walk right up to her house, however, I waited on the other side of the street near the bus stop. After a few minutes, a young girl crossed the road and walked over to my side, smiling brightly as she greeted me. Good morning. Morning. Did you sleep well? I know you can't help that you need to work nights, but a good night's sleep is still important. Like you can talk. How often do you not stay up past midnight watching television? Only because my parents would stop me if they were still awake. It's such a pain to have to do everything behind their backs. Can't they just have a little faith in me? That's not a very compelling argument when you routinely meet up with a violent criminal. A violent criminal? Lucia opened her eyes wide in surprise. I couldn't be sure if she was screwing with me, or she really hadn't realized just how dangerous her parents might consider her present company to be. Forget it. Anyway, is there anywhere you want to go today? I know that you... The arcade. We went there last time. So, there's no harm in sticking with a good thing. I guess. But no ditching me this time. It's no fun playing by myself. So play with someone else. There are plenty of other people you can play against. I don't want to pair up with those losers. I sighed and shook my head. Fine. Let's hit the arcade again. Yes, this time around you're going down. I don't know if I ever actually looked at these machines in the past, because these two are Mario. I can't quite tell what this one's supposed to be. I don't know if this is supposed to be Galaga, but that's Donkey Kong. This could be Pac-Man, actually, because the ghosts in the middle, and this might be Pac-Man. Oh, this is Rystar, I think. I don't know what this one would be. Without delay, Lucia and I headed to the arcade once more. Upon arrival, we headed to the reception and exchanged some paper money for coins to use in the machines. We then walked around for a short while, trying to decide on which game to play first. Before long, Lucia stepped in front of Dance Dance Resolution, and for the next hour, I knew my fate was sealed. My legs feel like they're going to fall off. That's what you get for playing so long without taking a break. If I took a break, someone else might take the machine. Well, yeah, that's how arcades work. If you get tired while playing, just take a break. There are plenty of other games you can play while you recover. I guess. Oh, okay, so this is supposed to be Dance Dance Resolution. We'll go with the non-copyright infringing name. But how come you're not tired? You were dancing just as long as I was. I don't know if you can really call what I was doing dancing. Either way, I guess you can call it an unexpected bonus for my line of work. I need to keep in peak physical condition, and compared to sparring night after night, a little dancing is nothing. Sparring? Are you a martial arts instructor or something? Crap. I averted my gaze as I realized that I had said too much. The longer I spoke with Lucia, the more I found myself letting slip details of my life which I intended to keep secret. At the rate I was going, I feared there was only a matter of time before I leaked something vital which I could never take back. Yeah, something like that. More importantly, that zombie shooting game opened up, so we should... Heck yeah, let's go! Distracted with surprising ease, Lucia grabbed my arm and dragged me over to her favorite game. Is that supposed to be House of the Dead, I'm guessing? It was a two-player game in which both players were armed with automatic weapons and needed to work together to fend off hordes of zombies. I didn't particularly care for the game myself, but at least it was easier on the legs than Lucia's first choice. Really, what kind of girl wants to spend her Saturday inside of an arcade shooting zombies? What's more, Lucia isn't the only girl in here, not by a long shot. It's unfortunate that Sarah has no interest in video games, but could it be that she's actually the minority? If so, this generation might have some hope left after all. What are you smiling at? Wipe that stupid grin off your face and pick up your weapon already. Yes, ma'am. After wasting a few hours playing games together, Lucia and I headed out for lunch. We then continued to walk around the city in search of something to do, talking happily all the while. I don't feel so good. I think I ate too much. No kidding. Every time we go out to eat somewhere, you stuff your face. I keep telling you the food isn't going anywhere. Slow down and give your body time to digest it. Yeah, but I can't help it. It tastes so good. It was just fast food. There's nothing really special about it. Easy for you to say. You could eat like this whenever you want. It's not that I get to. I just don't have a lot of choice. What do you mean? Don't your parents cook for you? I glared at Lucia for a moment. Once again, she was trying to pry into my personal life, and if she caught me off guard, I might have fallen for it. But telling her that my parents were dead was not an option. My hair was already a dead giveaway. If I told her anything else that would link me to Sarah, Lucia would figure out our relation for sure, assuming she hadn't already. Fine, don't answer the question. Sorry, but you know the rules. I know, no personal questions. But is it really that important? Is me knowing if your parents cooked that big of a deal? Even if we don't know one another that well, it's kind of hurtful to think that you can't trust me with something that trivial. Don't be like that. Trivial or not, personal information is personal information. It's for your sake and mine that I keep it to myself. Yeah, I know. While I'd like to think that Lucia and I were becoming friends, we couldn't afford to grow too close. Any information that could reveal my identity or my relation to Sarah was completely off limits. After all, if there was one thing I feared more than being hunted by the police, it was the thought of Sarah finding out who and what I really was. Cheer up. It's just small talk anyway, right? What you really want to know is why I'm always eating out. Well, I do, but... Well, will you actually tell me? I'd asked myself that very question many times, and after much deliberation I believed I found my answer. My reason for not telling Lucia anything personal was simple. I didn't want her finding out who I was or uncovering my relation to Sarah. But my job didn't link back to either of those things, and if Lucia told anybody, they would never believe her. Ironically, my biggest secret was the one thing I could trust her with. Yeah, I'll tell you. The truth is, I'm a professional killer. So we go back into skip mode. I think you have to stake it out. So you missed me bisect the dude? And I know just who I want to spend it with. Bidding Sarah an early farewell, I caught an earlier bus and train than she usually would in order to beat her to school. Once I arrived at Sarah's school, I started heading back towards the train station, then hid myself off to the side. I felt a bit like a stalker, but I didn't care. My goal was to intercept my companion, speak with her privately, and hopefully convince her to come with me. Whether Lucia would want to speak with me or not, however, was yet to be seen. Lucia may have been a bit rattled when I confided in her about what I do for a living, but I'm sure she'll listen to reason. Lucia just needed a few days to process the information. Now that there's one less secret between us, today will be closer than ever. Despite my optimistic thoughts, reality would likely not be so kind. My last outing with Lucia had been cut short as I told her something I shouldn't have. I admitted to Lucia that my profession was that of a paid killer. I told her all about how I worked with a group of other killers, and how we were assigned targets. At first, Lucia didn't believe me. She thought I was making fun of her by coming up with ridiculous answers to her serious questions. But I insisted, and after recounting my exploits, many of which she had seen on the news, Lucia's face grew pale. Our time together was cut short. Lucia made an excuse to leave, quickly ran away, and that was it. Come to think of it, maybe Lucia won't be ready to pick up where we left off after all. She did seem to be acting strangely when we parted ways. Perhaps she didn't take my admission as well as I thought. I continued to wait for Lucia on the side of the road to school. Given how early I was, it took a while before many students passed by. For the first 30 minutes, I barely saw anyone at all. However, once the morning bell drew near, the number of students inevitably surged. Before long, I was crouching anxiously while Sarah walked by. She seemed a little peeved, but not to the point where I felt the need to worry about her. A few more minutes passed, and the number of students died down once more. Only a few stragglers were still walking down the road, and luckily for me, that included my target. Morning, Lucia. Lucia jumped back in surprise as I suddenly addressed her. Calm down, it's just me. Surprised to see me so early in the morning? Yeah, you could say that. Don't get used to it. Usually I'm either fast asleep or busy working. But I finished my assignments for this week pretty quickly, so I figured I would check in and see how you were doing. You really don't need to do that. I appreciate you, looking out for me, but this isn't a good time. School's about to start, so... Ah, you're right. School's such a bummer, isn't it? Working for a living is much more exciting, especially in my line of work. Yes, well, it's good that you enjoy your job, but I really have to go now. Skip school. Huh? I can't do that. Sure you can. It's not like you'll learn anything important anyway. Come on, let's go to the arcade. I bet it's pretty empty at this time of the day. She continued to stare at me with a troubled expression as I coaxed her along. Usually she would jump at the opportunity, but after our last encounter, her hesitation was obvious. Fine, I'll ask. What's wrong with you today? Why are you so troubled by my presence? It's nothing like that. Liar. You've been apprehensive since the moment I arrived. Is this about my job? I only told you because you kept pestering me to open up about stuff like that. I wouldn't have asked if I'd known. Is it really that shocking? It may not be the most glamorous job, but someone's gotta do it. No, they don't. Are you even listening to yourself? This isn't normal. You are not normal. Neither are you. What's your point? Lucia took a few steps back towards the train station. I don't want to do this anymore. Do what? This, meeting up with you out of nowhere and acting like we're friends. Friends don't break into one another's houses or threaten to kill them. You didn't object at the time. I wasn't thinking clearly, all right? I thought you were some heroic vigilante who would save my life. I thought I could trust you. But you're just insane. Far more so than I am. Hey now, don't you think that's a bit much? I mean, I do hear things in my head, but it's only really the one voice. And it's not like I attacked those two because I thought I would enjoy it. I was protecting you. Don't tell me that. I can't afford to believe you. I already decided that I should cut my ties to you. There's no need for that. If anything, we should take this opportunity to become closer, not go our separate ways. So what do you say? Do you want to sit through jury classes all day, or do you want to have some fun with your good friend? I extended my hand towards Lucia. She looked down at my hand while keeping her own hands close to her body, clearly hesitant to accept my invitation. I really shouldn't. My parents will be mad for sure. What can they do? Not feed you? Throw you out? If that happens, I'll take care of you. Lucia slowly extended one of her hands forward. Still shaking, she eventually rested her hand on mine, then glanced up at my face. You promise you'll take care of me? Absolutely. Though if you value your independence, I can always just kill your parents. Before I could assure Lucia that I was only joking, she quickly ran towards the train station. She tossed aside her backpack without a care and sprinted at a higher speed than I thought her capable. Shit. This isn't gonna end well. I pursued Lucia as she bypassed the train station and ran through the busy city streets. Thankfully, although her speed caught me off guard, my physical fitness was much greater than Lucia's, and I soon managed to catch up to her. Come on, Lucia, slow down for a bit. Do you even know where you're going? Shut up! Get away from me, you creep! Don't be like that. We're friends, aren't we? We were never friends. You're just a criminal who tried to abuse my condition. To a degree, Lucia was right. Against my better judgment, I confided in her, but I only did so because I knew that nobody would believe her. If she tried to tell everybody how she was friends with a professional killer, they would dismiss her claims as mere fantasy, illusions of her warped mind. Even so, she could not prove that I had thought that way, nor could she know it for sure. That's a lie. When I first visited you, I didn't even know about your condition. You mean when you broke into my house? All you did was question me. You even threatened me at knife point. What kind of a friend does that? Look, I'm sorry about that, okay? I didn't know any better. But it's not like that anymore. I won't hurt you ever again. Like I can believe that. Cutting our conversation short, Lucia ran down another street trying to shake me off. You won't lose me that easily, Lucia. I continued to pursue Lucia as she took increasingly risky turns. She began to run across the road blindly, narrowly avoiding death many times during her escape. Although I remained more cautious and level-headed, my own aversion to take the same risks allowed Lucia to put some distance between us. Even so, that distance was soon bridged. I caught up to Lucia, who was beginning to slow down, and ran over to her side without breaking a sweat. Give it a rest already, will you? You're going to get yourself killed. And if I do stop, then what? My parents die instead? Just leave me alone, you sadistic murderer. Oi, oi, keep it down, would you? Why, don't you want everyone to know the truth? You're a murderer, a professional killer. You kill innocent people for money and laugh about it. What do you think you're doing? Cut that out. Or else what? You'll kill me too? Go ahead. That's what you like to do most, isn't it, killer? Kill me. Go on, kill me. I dare you. I looked around as Lucia shouted at the top of her lungs. For every person who looked away hurriedly, many more were captivated by her display. Shit, this is getting really out of hand. I need to take Lucia away from here and calm her down. No longer able to let Lucia do as she pleased, I grabbed hold of her wrist. Hey, what do you think you're doing? If you kill me now, everyone here's going to know that was you. I'm not going to kill you, just shut up and come with me. No, I don't want to go with you. Someone, help, call the police, save me! Dragged kicking and screaming, Lucia eventually quieted down. To her dismay, nobody attempted to intervene, despite the fact that we were surrounded by dozens of onlookers. Not one person tried to help her. So this is the whole Kitty Genovese thing. I don't know if it's the bystander effect or the onlooker effect, but in case you're curious, everyone has a dissolved, dissiluted, a dispersed sense of responsibility. They're all expecting one another to intervene, and they're staying idle, waiting for the other person. As a result, no one does. This happens in real life, and it happens a lot more frequently than most people probably realize. Realizing this, Lucia stopped resisting. She still didn't know where we were heading or why, but she no longer pulled away or tried to free herself. Alright, this is it. Let's go inside and talk this out, okay? Go inside where? What is this place? This is my home, for the time being at least. This is your house? It looks so normal. What were you expecting? A Gothic castle, an abandoned military facility? No, but not this. How could someone like you live in a house like this? I told you before, didn't I? Yes, my job is heinous, but I'm still just an ordinary human being. I went to a good school, grew up with a loving family, and now I live in a clean home in a nice neighborhood. So I'm sorry if I don't fit your mental image of a sadistic murderer, but that's how it is. I see. Lucia cast her eyes downward. Surprisingly, a look of sorrow masked her face, not showing any semblance of her anger from before. Half an hour ago she had been screaming and cursing. Now she was showing genuine remorse. Just tell me one thing. Why do you, your job? Why did you resort to that? You must have had a good reason, right? Lucia looked up at me pleadingly. She wanted me to give her a reason to believe in me once more. A story to put her heart at ease and convince her that the vigilante whom she believed in was not a myth. And fortunately for her, I had just the right sob story. Yeah, you could say that. Come inside. I'll tell you all about it. Gesturing for Lucia to enter first, I closed and locked the door behind us. The matter we were about to discuss was not one I could allow others to hear about, nor could I risk having someone enter while we were talking. In order for Lucia and I to mend our relationship, we needed peace, time, and solitude. All right, Lucia, take a seat in the living room and I'll join you momentarily. I'm no cook, but even I can whip up tea or something for a guest. Don't bother. A jolt ran up my spine as an unexpected voice answered me. I slowly turned around, afraid to confirm the presence of the person I had heard in Lucia's stead. And as the powerful figure entered my sight, an even greater fear took hold of me, magnified many times over by the scene unfolded before my eyes. Sigh? What are you doing here? Why are you... Shut up. While holding Lucia at knife point, Sigh aimed his gun straight at my forehead. Even without knowing what kind of person Sigh was, one look at his face could tell you he wasn't messing around. Honestly, all the stupid things you've done. Do you have any idea how many criminals have been caught because they formed some kind of bond with one of their victims, or their families? I thought you were above that kind of mistake, but it seems I put too much faith in you. Sai pressed the knife in his hand closer to Lucia's throat. Lucia stiffened up even further, too scared to move or speak. Sai, please don't do this. We can work this out, okay? Nobody needs to die. In response to my plea, Sai narrowed his glare. That line of thought is precisely why we're in this situation. If you just killed this girl before she became a problem, then all this could have been avoided. But she didn't do anything wrong. Lucia's a victim. Why does she need to die? Because of you. I took a step back as Sai's words resounded within my mind. Because of me? Do I really need to spell it out for you? I trusted you to silence this girl through means of your own choosing. A rite of passage, if you will. Whether you killed, charmed, or merely threatened her, having you take the initiative to silence a witness would have been a great chance for your personal growth. What happened today is proof that I was a fool to leave this matter in your hands. So I took a step forward, still aiming at my forehead while staring me straight in the eye. Not only did you fail to silence her, you took your dispute out into the open. You allowed a girl known to be a witness to at least one murder to publicly label you a murderer. You caused a scene and were witnessed by innumerable passers-by, not to mention how many security cameras caught you on tape. Your anonymity has been compromised, and I cannot allow you to burden the rest of us any further. So yeah, that's the entirety of the Lucia route. So you're probably disappointed, but unfortunately I can't help that. People on the forums were unhappy about how this played out too, but there's just no good end with her. That's the only way to resolve her route. Like, the best you might be able to do is just leave her alive and then leave her alone. Maybe everything will play out, but as is, this is kind of disappointing. But anyway, now we can get to the real new route.